So, LA Knight did not win Money in the Bank, and everybody's mad about it. Yeah, I don't understand it. I'm not really sure I understand why he's so over. I don't understand why people felt he is the guy who needs to have a title shot on deck. He's good. I don't want to say anything against him. But let's take a little bit deeper look, see what the oracles have to say about LA Knight. Welcome to Wrestling Tea Tarot. I am Jude, and we're gonna take a look, see maybe what makes LA Knight tick, see if there's any tea to talk about, see what the sort of business outlook is for the future, if we think that success is finally gonna come, and yeah, what it all means. So first of all, LA Knight is a Scorpio, which, let's see, similar to CM Punk, right? Ups and downs. Scorpios represent life, life, death, transition, right? So a lot of changes involved. Also, one of the things that the card here says about Scorpios, and I've said this before, I think about CM Punk, is that they are generous and kind in their success, but they can be petty when they're not. So as they roll those hills and valleys, they treat people well when they're up top, and they maybe not as much when they're struggling. One of the reasons, or maybe one of the indicators that LA Knight is as over as he is and that people want to see so much success from him, is he is a life path number 5. Let me tell you, life path number 5 is the free spirit. Okay, I'm a 5 myself. Life path 5s need structure, right? They tend to be creative, like adventure, movement. Let me tell you about the wrestling life path 5s. Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Cody Rhodes. Paul Heyman. I honestly cannot think of a life path 5 right now that we have covered in this channel who isn't an all-time great Hall of Famer. So we'll see what the future holds for LA Knight in that regard. Interestingly enough, LA Knight's birth name Sean Ricker, unless there's a middle name that I just haven't been able to find, and I've looked, his his destiny number, based on his name, is 5-5. So rather than look at the reading for a number 1 for a destiny number, the 5 plus 5, I went and pulled the angel number 555. This is the first time I've ever brought this one out. Angel number 555, transition and changes incoming. While it may be intense, it is for your highest good. You can enjoy it, or if you're not used to change, you may learn. So again, we're talking about a Scorpio embodying change and transition, a life path number 5, right? The free spirit embodying change, and now this angel number 555. And we know that LA Knight has seen a lot of change, right? He's been in NXT, he's been in the NWA, TNA, then NWA again, back to NXT, and now he's finally been elevated up to the main roster. Came up to the main roster with that terrible Max Dupree gimmick that I'm not going to say he couldn't have gotten over with it, because, hey, Goldust got over and made, Dustin Rhodes was able to make that character an absolute legend. But it was a challenging gimmick. And obviously the Massey and Mansois weren't exactly able to get over. And now here we see LA Knight doing great. Maxine Dupree, right? Doing great, getting a lot of momentum. So clearly change has been good for some of those folks. Maybe I need to look up some of Maxine Dupree's numbers and we'll look at her another time. So let's go ahead and see what we can see. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, allegedly. I don't know anything more than you do, what's on the Wikipedia about that man's personal life or what makes him tick. But because he's garnered so much interest in that character, I thought we might enjoy taking a look at it. Oh, I thought that one was going to fall, and then it fell right back in. There you go. Of course, LA Knight's also been subject of some very minor controversy. Maybe he's not even the subject of it. Maybe Kevin Nash is more the subject of it for his comments about LA Knight being a rock bite. I don't care if he is or isn't, really. Certainly there's similarities. Some people feel more strong about it. Some people want to really defend him. Some people think, hey, everything old is new again. The Rock is technically still in the business, right? So it's a little early to be swagger jacking The Rock. Okay. I think that's probably what we're going to get out of this deck. Got a few. Let's see what we got here. I had already noticed the first thing that was on top of my first drop was Pluto, right? Pluto is the governing planet for Scorpio, so we've got LA Knight's own energy here. Pluto, letting go, the death card, endings, resistance, transformation, and power. Okay, that can go a lot of different ways. We've already talked about the transformations. I don't think he's got any sort of an ending coming up anytime soon unless there's some great revelation that we don't know about. Guilt and sabotage, anxiety, insomnia, shadow work, fear, regret, feeling loss. Okay. Is he being held back? I think a lot of people probably think he is. Triple H, Paul Levesque, kind of said what he had to say after Money in the Bank, saying, look, we're not forgetting about LA Knight. We think LA Knight's great. He's going to wait his turn like everybody else, right? Priest got the win of the Money in the Bank contract. Priest is getting the push because Priest has been in the system longer and also deserves it, right? It's not strictly seniority. It's not strictly who's hot. But of that crowd that was in the Money in the Bank contract match, I mean, I feel like LA Knight, Priest, and probably Logan Paul were the only ones really with much of a chance of winning it, right? I like Escobar. I think he's great. Too early for him. I don't think Butch had any chance of winning it. And I really think Ricochet, and I love Ricochet's work. I don't think anyone saw him winning it. So, who feels guilty? Who's sabotaging what? We've also got the Moon card, intuition, the subconscious, emotions, fear. That's the second time we're talking about fear or anxiety. Things are not as they appear. So there's something going on behind the scenes. And oh, by the way, that Moon card, gosh, the Moon is the sign of Cancer. So did Cody Rhodes' appearance, because Cody's a Cancer and a life path number 5, did Cody's appearance, impact these plans for what could have been done with LA Knight? I mean, really, Cody came back at WrestleMania 38, which was before Knight broke away from the Maximum Male Models. But I think Cody being there, in the company is definitely impacting a lot of plans. Watching, spying, gathering info. We've got 3 cards in a row here talking about like there's some shady dealings. I don't know. Gathering info, envy, trying to figure you out, keeping tabs. So look, we've got things are not as they appear. We've got sabotage, and we've got spying. Like there really might be a movement among maybe people who were there before LA Knight and don't like to see how he's caught fire like this. Gosh, maybe Bray Wyatt, who was the who LA Knight actually came out of his match with Bray Wyatt, looking stronger rather than weaker, unlike most of Bray's opponents. And Bray ended up looking kind of the worse for it. Maybe Bray feels some kind of way, right? We don't know where Bray is. Last I read in the last couple days, he's still not cleared to come back. So there's that. We got the Fate and Fortune card with the lightning striking the money tree here. The Wheel of Fortune, karma, cycles, right? Divine detours, divine interventions. Again, we've already talked about the changes and the transformations. We know that this guy has already faced up and downs, right? He's been a world champion over in Impact, but decided he wanted to take the pay cut, roll the dice, come to WWE for the better chance at exposure, right? He's betting on himself here. So again, nothing happens in a straight path. Nothing happens right away. We're looking at divine timing here. Next, remember, light work. So we already saw shadow work. Where was that? Right here on the guilt and sabotage. Now we've got the light work card. Transcendence, just like transformation. Getting past conflict, spiritual awakening, inner shifts. There's definitely a conflict somewhere. Again, maybe that is Triple H feeling some kind of way about him. Obviously, Shawn liked him well enough to give him a pretty good push over in NXT. Now that he's on the main roster, right, not 100% going somewhere. Someone's opposing him. Somebody is opposing his energy. So far, the only other astrological symbol we've got is this moon card. Okay, and again, moon governs Cancer. The only Cancer that I'd be thinking of who's like a big deal in the company right now is Roman Reigns. Let us know in the comments if you've got someone else in mind who that. Oh, what am I even thinking? Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is a Cancer. I always think of Shawn as a Libra because he's late July, but he's actually just on the cusp, and he's on the Cancer side of the cusp. So Shawn himself, who we would think, pushed LA Knight, would also know him pretty well. So maybe Shawn is talking to Paul, right? We know they're besties. Funny, we're talking about all guys who are Life Path 5, all these free spirit guys who are in these positions of power. So, like I said, there's someone keeping an eye on them. Things are not as they appear. We've got the Illusions and Confusion card with the Neptune energy, right? So that's Pisces. Someone's not seeing clearly. Escapism. Addictions. Codependency. Right? I don't want to imply too much with that, but we will note that card has come up, right? Someone's looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. I think a lot of us are looking through rose-colored glasses at this guy. He's good, but he's not the second coming of The Rock. But for whatever reason, we wanted to treat him as though he is. So there's some Pisces energy, right? And Pisces is very emotional. Pisces is kind of a head in the clouds dreamer kind of state, hence these illusions? Are we looking through rose-colored glasses and somehow missing, right, these things that are not as they appear? What is this sinister secret that we're not aware of yet? We're going to look at a couple more decks, but the last one for this is separation and lost love, longing, abandonment, broken dreams, divorce, heartbreak, and grief. So not especially encouraging there. We don't have any context for it. So we're going to just leave it as it is for now and take a look at this a little more situations, a little more tea. But we do thank you for watching the channel. I hope you will like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video maybe with another LA Knight fan, or someone who's just interested in some tea. What do we got? We got about 7 cards dropped already. So we had a bunch that the universe is trying to tell us about this situation. Like I said, this tends to be where the tea comes in. Just saying, I see the memories card here, right? And we already had the remember card. But the fact that we were seeing the light work for healing and the shadow work, right, for kind of self-growth, self-reflection, LA Knight might need to do some healing, right? I don't know what kind of baggage he might have. He's been in the business a good while now, right? Around 20 years. That'll put some wear and tear on you, both, physically, mentally, emotionally. I'm not aware of any particular, relationship situation if he's involved with another person who is in the business. I don't believe he has any kids, or I should say I don't know about any kids that he has. But he needs to do some work. There's something that's holding him back, right? He's got some blockages that are preventing his success. And as I'm recording this, we are during an abundance portal that now's a great time to try to clear those blockages and go after your goals and your abundance. But we've got the memories card, the past, nostalgia. My goodness, sorry, the font on that was throwing me off. The past and nostalgia. He feels like a throwback character, right? People compare him to The Rock. They compare him to Stone Cold. He's been in the business all that time, right? He's pretty much been in the business since maybe not the Attitude Era, but the Ruthless Aggression Era. So yeah, he feels like a throwback, right? He's a film camera in a iPhone world. And interestingly enough, people are gravitating to that. People are drawn to that, and that's resonating with them. But this memories may also indicate again that he's got some unresolved issues, something in the past that needs to be addressed, right? He's got barriers that need to be broken through. We've got the barriers card. Cherry on top, extra blessings and bonus. He keeps doing good work. He's gotten over tremendously over the course of the last 9 months to a year, including during the time that the company, sale was announced. There probably is some bonus money involved for him. False friends, dishonesty, hidden agenda. Look, this is piling back on top of what we were seeing, right? That sabotage, things aren't what they seem, watching, spying, jealousy, right? Now we're talking about some false friends. There's someone that he thinks is on his side who is not on his side, allegedly for entertainment purposes. Slow and steady, slow success, don't rush. How true is that, right? That's him That's Cody to a degree, right? Where everyone's like, oh, well, when's Cody going to win the belt? When's Cody going to win the belt? The storytelling in the WWE right now has really slowed way down. They're not doing these quick, sensational, sort of novellas. They're in it for the long serial. And it seems like whenever these pop-up stories occur, they flash and they're gone, and no one really remembers them. We just went through 3 years of the Bloodline saga. We're already over, a year, coming up on a year and a half of, Cody Rhodes trying to finish his story. We've been watching Seth through all his changes, probably for close to 2 years of Roman's title reign, until now he's finally got the belt. So here we see again, we've got the turtle. I wasn't sure, I wanted to see if that was a turtle or a tortoise. Looks like a turtle with the whole world on his back, right? It's turtles all the way down, moving at this very steady, methodical pace, which is what we've been seeing in the WWE. So everyone who thinks, oh, they're strapping a rocket to LA Knight, well, maybe they are, but they also strapped that same rocket to this turtle. So things are going to move slowly. What a mess. Clean it up. Mistake, right? A lot of people think that him not winning was a mistake. There's people who are unhappy that Damian Priest won the briefcase. I'm not one of them. I'm actually a big Damian Priest fan. But despite the slowness, what I know really kind of turns me off about the LA Knight storyline is the inconsistency, right? You have him, occasionally winning matches that people are very surprised at. He takes losses, but he's still over, right? He took 2 losses to Xavier Woods. This isn't a knock on Woodsy, but when's the last time you saw Xavier Woods now? So they put Woodsy over LA Knight twice. Then they let him get a title shot against Gunther. I don't know that he's been seen since Gunther beat him. So keeping track of who's in favor, who's got momentum and who doesn't, really has been kind of a mess. And maybe that's meant to put a little more realism on it, right? Sometimes you eat the bear, some days the bear eats you. And LA Knight, his booking's been about as consistent as Karrion Kross. Self-care, breathe, restore balance. Okay, I was talking about this with the light work and the shadow work. It really does, okay, not as much in these cards, but it really does seem like he's got some baggage he needs to unpack. Some self-care might be the thing for him, but I'm sure he doesn't want to step away because he's used so infrequently on TV anyway. He needs to be there for every opportunity he gets. Hang your wings, misbehaving and naughty, right? So things are not as they appear. He's a heel, right? It's not like he's some squeaky clean baby face, but there's some misbehavior going on. And again, this might be something we don't know about. Date night, romance, going out. Okay, is that related to, his extracurricular activities outside the ring? Okay, I'm not saying that there's anything earth-shaking going on, but is that a distraction? Oh, and the organization. Here we go. This is the Fed. There's Titan Tower. Isolation and authority. Right? At the end of the day, it's appropriate that that's the last card we saw from this deck, because at the end of the day, that's the be-all and end-all, right? The organization needs to look at all of this. I'm going to wrap it up with a look at this money deck. And see what we come up with here. Try to wrap this up in the next 5-10 minutes. Keep it short and sweet as we're talking about LA Knight. And still decide, is the organization going to give him a yeah, or are they going to give him a nah? Because so far, we are all quite confused. Okay, shuffle this one once more. All right, we're going to call it good. Let's see what the Oracle has told us. Manifesting, direction, connections. Okay, so I pulled this one to the top deliberately, the strategy card. You need a step-by-step plan to reach the next level. I don't know yet if the organization has that plan, right? They've been so focused on the bloodline. They're so focused on building Gunther and to some degree, restoring the importance of the Intercontinental title. So he needs a plan, or the organization needs a plan of what they're going to do with him. In the flow, the universe is sending help. Tap into your inner power and go deeper to create the purposeful life you want to have. Okay, that idea of a purposeful life, go back to that shadow work, the light work, right? Unloading some of that baggage. Also notice this fish, right? We already had the Neptune energy on an earlier card. So yes, there is someone, there's a Pisces or someone with that Pisces mindset who is who's involved here, trying to help. Okay, this one seems to be an ally. Hopefully that ally is a great match. You're on the verge of finding the perfect work. Don't give up. Okay, so find the right strategy, look for the help, and you've got a great match there. So that success is coming. Power position, you're being promoted or called to lead. Time to step into your sovereignty and guide others with compassion. All positive stuff so far. Innovation, come up with new strategies to keep your plans in motion. Old ways are outdated. Invent, create, and test ideas, right? It's interesting that we had the old ways are outdated because we had the memories card and we had the remember card. Okay, this is saying, okay, you can be this throwback guy, but you need something modern too to keep that strategy moving, right? Keep these gears turning. But again, this says really mostly the same of what the strategy card says. Spiritual work, doing some inner work can help you get clear before you move on. You will get insights into what work will best serve your needs. So again, we saw the light work, we saw the shadow work. We see the Pisces fish over here saying tapping into your inner power and create a purposeful life. He may have been in the business so long now that I'm not going to say the passion for it is gone, but it's very much a job, and maybe the inner maybe he's a little uncentered, right? He needs some grounding. He needs to center, right? CM Punk said recently, right? Go outside and touch grass, right? Do some grounding. Take stock of yourself. Build bridges between people. We got the connections card. Contact those who can help you. Your actions set you up for the next opportunity. So connections, and this Pisces fish here says you're being sent some help. Be careful look out for the false friends. Got to use your discernment, right? Don't rush into things. Watch out for false friends, but there is someone who's going to be able to help you to do the work on yourself that you need. which again, Shawn Michaels would be a great guy for that, right? He's traditionally spiritual, but he is a very spiritual guy. I don't know how that lines up with what LA Knight, what his belief system and what his schema is. But Shawn is a guy who went through the fire, found his spirituality, gut centered, gut grounded, and most people will tell you he did his best work after he came back. I'm not saying LA Knight needs to go away, but maybe he needs to do some work and be connected to someone who can help him. Direction, your purpose is unfolding slowly, step by step. No need to hurry or worry. You are being divinely guided, right? We saw that divine, where was that? I think it's here. Nope, not that one. It's the one with the tree on it, right? Talking about divine intervention and divine detours, right? You are being divinely guided. But again, we've got the direction card indicating finding your path, right? You're being guided, but it might not be a straight line. And finally, manifesting. You have the power to manifest what you want by writing your intentions and taking inspired action to make it happen. This looks really clear to me. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a question. Who's this false friend? What is it that we're not seeing? I would love to know. Okay, let's keep our eyes peeled for that going forward. But Spirit is telling us that LA Knight has all the potential. Success is waiting for him. He needs to do some work on himself. It's not even, there's something in the ring or on the mic that's blocking him. Everything is saying, manifest your intentions, right? Do your spiritual work. Let someone help you to get right. And then you're in a power position. You're a great match, right? The changes that you seek are coming. I think this is good news. I think if you're an LA Knight fan, this is a resounding yeah. And that all he needs to do the work on himself. Okay, stay focused. We know he's over. We know most of the crowd loves him. It's just a matter of time before the organization gets on that. But his future is bright if he does the work. I hope that you enjoyed this. We're not going to draw this out and make it any longer than it needs to be. Please check out our other videos. Like, subscribe, and share. Click the notification bell. Hit us up in those comments. Who else do you want to see us talk about? I know who I've got in mind to do next. We also need to get back to covering some of the topics from the Dark Side of the Ring series, because those are very interesting. But we do appreciate you watching. This is Wrestling Tea Tarot. Be sure to check out our other videos. I'm Jude. We will see you next time. Bye.